Over the course of its 30-year history, Survivor Series has played host to some of our most shocking memories as wrestling fans. Anything can happen in the WWE. Just ask those in attendance at Survivor Series 1990, which saw the shocking debut, or hatching, of the Gobbledygooker. Sadly, that's not making it onto this list because, amazingly, we found 10 incidents more exciting than a giant turkey bursting out of an egg at ringside. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic.com, and here are the 10 most shocking moments in Survivor Series history. Join us. Number 10, the debut of The Undertaker. Survivor Series 1990 is largely remembered as a show of two debuts. The debuts in question belong to the Gobbledygooker, who has already enjoyed far too much attention in this video, and more importantly, The Undertaker. Before Survivor Series 1990, Taker was best known as Mean Mark Callis, a WCW rookie who was billed as the owner of pet snakes and a fan of Ozzy Osbourne. Please imagine just for a second The Undertaker rocking out to Crazy Train. Silly, isn't it? WWF took this dark character and, well, made it even sillier, bringing Callis out at Survivor Series dressed as a Wild West funeral director. This was in 1990, however, before most wrestling gimmicks were man who wrestles for a living, so it actually worked. Fans were terrified and disturbed, and although Taker wasn't actually a survivor of his tag match, he had made a huge impact. 1 year later, he'd defeat Hulk Hogan at the same pay-per-view to win his first WWF championship, and the rest is history. Number 9, The Shield arrive. Speaking of dramatic debuts, they don't come much more shocking than that of The Shield. Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns made their first appearance at Survivor Series 2012, interfering in a triple threat match between CM Punk, John Cena, and the big guy, I can't do it, Ryback. The trio grabbed Rybizzle, scooped him up, and slammed him through the announce table, the first example of their soon-to-be infamous triple powerbomb. Indie wrestling fans were already familiar with Rollins thanks to his stint as former ROH champion Tyler Black, and Ambrose due to his previous incarnation as crazed CZW madman Jon Moxley, but to many, the newcomers were a total surprise. Their interference helped CM Punk retain his WWE Championship, keeping his modern record-breaking reign alive until the Royal Rumble a few months later, where he lost it to The Rock. Number 8, the Jumping Bomb Angels. 1987 saw the first ever Survivor Series pay-per-view, and it was an exciting prospect indeed. An entire show based around elimination tag team matches, opening up a world of possibilities. Would Hogan and friends be able to withstand Andre's team of brutes? No. Would the ring be able to withstand the weight of all 20 men in a colossal 10-team elimination match? Remarkably, yes. However, the biggest story of the inaugural Survivor Series is that of the Jumping Bomb Angels. The Japanese tag team decided to turn up and show us wrestling of the future, outshining most of the 1987 roster with a collection of offensive moves that wouldn't look out of place today. The Angels overcame a heel team including Sensational Sherry and the formidable Glamour Girls, as well as the fact that commentary didn't seem to know their names. Here they are. And they were fittingly the only two survivors of the match. Number 7, the Ultimate Opportunist strikes again. Survivor Series 2008 was, for the most part, an unsurprising show. John Cena defeated Chris Jericho, despite Jericho being at the top of his game as a suit-wearing honest man heel. Sad, but hardly a shock. Randy Orton survived a 16-minute elimination tag match against Batista and his assortment of babyface friends. Again, no surprises there. Randy Orton survives at Survivor Series. It's just what he does. And in the penultimate match of the evening, Jeff Hardy was announced to have been found unconscious in the stairwell of a local hotel. Okay, that one certainly isn't normal. The match was originally scheduled to be a triple threat between Jeff, Triple H, and Vladimir Kozlov, but proceeded as a singles bout between The Game and the Moscow Mauler. That is, until SmackDown GM Vicky Guerrero ran onto the stage proclaiming, "He's here! He's here!" sending Jeff Hardy fans absolutely wild, the silly, naive souls. It wasn't Jeff at all, it was Edge. The rated R superstar charged the ring, his first appearance since being chokeslammed into hell. Well, a small hole in the canvas at SummerSlam. The Ultimate Opportunist looked to be on the verge of victory until the interference of Jeff Hardy, who proceeded to make a total mess of the situation, accidentally nailing Triple H with a chair and allowing Edge to cover him to win the WWE Championship. Number 6, a corporate champion. Survivor Series 1998 featured no traditional elimination matches, but was instead dominated by the Deadly Games tournament for the vacant WWF Championship. Because this was the Attitude Era and because Vince Russo was on the booking team, they decided to stage the entire tournament in one night. This being a Russo-booked tournament, there were twists and turns aplenty, with numerous run-ins, DQs, and Big Boss Man cropping up everywhere. Seriously, he entered the tournament twice and interfered in a handful of other matches too. The overarching story, once you filter out the surrounding noise, saw The Rock bravely battle to the final, despite the odds being stacked against him by Vince McMahon and co. There he met corporate representative Mankind, a clear good versus bad clash at last. Except it wasn't. The finish saw The Rock clamp on a sharpshooter, blatantly grabbing the top rope for leverage. Vince called for the bell and it rang, despite poor Foley never tapping out. The tournament was over and the double turn was complete. Thanks to the most WCW pay-per-view finish in WWE history, Vince had a new corporate champion. Number 5, Steve Austin attempts to murder Triple H with a forklift truck. At Survivor Series 2000, Stone Cold Steve Austin actually attempted to murder Triple H. I was about to explain that attempted murder was a lot more common in the Attitude Era, but a few weeks ago we did see The Miz lead a group of wrestlers in stuffing Braun Strowman into a garbage truck and crushing him. Come to think of it, we also saw Roman Reigns throw Strowman into the back of an ambulance, and then reverse it into a production truck. Okay, attempted murder on superstars not named Braun Strowman was a lot more common in the Attitude Era, but the most far-fetched of all was potentially this incident at Survivor Series 2000. Triple H lured Austin into the parking lot with the help of the Radicals. The Game waited in his car for the chance to run Stone Cold down, only for Austin to somehow sneak up on him while driving a forklift truck and hoist his vehicle high into the air. Then, in a fine piece of melodrama, Austin dropped the car roof first onto the tarmac while Triple H screamed for his life. Don't try this at home. Number 4, Shawn Michaels survives the first ever Elimination Chamber. The 2002 edition of the pay-per-view really did spoil us, and is regarded as among the best Survivor Series of all time. The main event was a fitting, spectacular one for 2 reasons. First and foremost, it was the first ever appearance of the Elimination Chamber. The second reason involved the winner. This match had an impressive lineup: Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kane, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and Shawn Michaels. Not only was HBK's return to wrestling a huge shock, the fact that he didn't seem to have lost a step at all was mind-boggling. Fans were desperate for him to win this match, especially with the Game in uber heel mode as World Heavyweight Champion. Amazingly, he did. Shawn survived a grueling 40-minute match, eliminating Chris Jericho and best friend / worst enemy Triple H en route to victory. A big babyface win to close Survivor Series. How unlikely is that? Number 3, Sting makes his shocking debut. Sting's WWE run looks a little curious in hindsight. From that weird loss to Triple H at WrestleMania 30 to that weird loss to Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, his debut, however, was nothing short of electrifying. For years regarded as the last major WCW star to never set foot in a Vince McMahon ring, Sting finally crossed the old divide in 2014, interfering in the dying stages of a Survivor Series match between Team Cena and The Authority. With Cena's boys victorious, The Authority would be removed from power, but things were looking grim as Dolph Ziggler faced 3-on-1 odds in the match's closing stages. The former Spirit Squad stallion did his best HBK impression, flopping and flailing as he evened the odds, but a far fresher Seth Rollins stood in his way. With The Authority on the verge of victory and Triple H interfering in the match at will, Sting suddenly made his previously unthinkable WWE debut. He knocked out corrupt referee Scott Armstrong, bravely saw off the Game, and dragged Ziggler on top of Rollins for the victory. The Authority were gone and never darkened WWE's door again. Well, for about a month. Number 2, who ran down Stone Cold? Remember a few minutes ago when we were talking about Steve Austin trying to murder Triple H? This incident at Survivor Series 99 was the reason. Backstage footage showed Stone Cold chasing Triple H through the parking lot, only to be ran down by a speeding limousine. The driver's identity, a mystery. Austin was removed from the title match later in the night and everyone was sad, boo-hoo. The real shock came later when we learned the identity of the driver. It was none other than dancing Samoan funny man and beloved mid-card babyface Rikishi, a reveal that was more strange than brilliant. And now heel Rikishi explained that he did it for The Rock, taking out Austin to allow his cousin a chance at stardom. Needless to say, The Rock was not happy about a family member attempting to commit murder on his behalf. Rikishi's heel turn was not a huge success, and a further motive was later revealed. He'd been in cahoots with Triple H the whole time. Yes, despite Triple H swearing to have nothing to do with the attempt on Stone Cold's life, he was revealed as the mastermind all along. Amazing. Number 1, the Montreal Screwjob. Survivor Series 97 isn't remembered for the right reasons, which Jack constantly assures me is the pay-per-view debut of Steve Blackman. It's instead remembered for one of the most infamous incidents in professional wrestling history, the Montreal Screwjob. In the midst of the Monday Night Wars, Bret Hart won the WWF Championship at SummerSlam 97, before later signing a contract with WCW. Vince McMahon obviously wanted the belt off Bret before he jumped and wanted him to drop it to his golden boy Shawn Michaels. Bret, however, was seen as a national hero in his homeland of Canada and refused to lose at Survivor Series, which was to be held in Montreal. McMahon agreed to book a DQ finish, with Bret dropping the championship at a later date in the US. Perfect, everyone's happy. But that's not what happened. Without Bret's knowledge, Vince, Shawn, referee Earl Hebner, and a few others conspired to screw the Hitman out of the title at Survivor Series. In the closing stages of the match, Shawn locked in Bret's own signature sharpshooter. The champ reached back to reverse the hold, only for Earl Hebner to ring for the bell. He hadn't submitted, but the poor timekeeper had Vince goddamn McMahon screaming at him to ring the thing, so ring it he did. Everything after this has passed into wrestling folklore. Michaels feigned ignorance and was ushered to the back as everyone in the building lost their minds. Bret leaned over the top rope and spat directly onto Vince, and is even rumoured to have knocked him out with a single blow backstage. Without question, the most shocking moment in Survivor Series history, and perhaps even in WWE history as a whole. A final word of warning, do not bring up the Montreal Screwjob on a wrestling forum or message board. Everyone has a different opinion. Please don't do it. For your own safety, please. I've been Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic.com, and that was our list. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget, join us.